While in Afghanistan, some civil society activists say they feel betrayed by Norway's decision to host the Taliban. To discuss, our senior reporter Catherine Norris-Trent is on the line for us now. And Catherine, activists are particularly angered that these talks are taking place while two female activists are missing in Kabul. I know you've been in touch with people to try and find out what's happened to these women. What can you tell us?
Yes, there are huge and continuing concerns over a number of women's rights activists, at least two of whom it's believed have been arrested and detained, others say abducted. This was in Kabul last week, following women's rights protests in the streets of Kabul on the 16th of January, when they were protesting against rules by the Taliban authorities that they would have to wear their strict interpretation of Islamic hijab and asking them to cover their faces at all times. So these women took to the streets. They were met with Taliban, who have outlawed these kind of women's protests, who sprayed them with pepper spray, and that protest was broken up. But a few days after that, women's rights activists said that some of their number had been arrested, taken away from their homes by who they said were members of the Taliban, gunmen coming to their homes in the night time and taking them away. Since then, there have been no official news of two of those activists, Tamana Pariani and Pawana Ibrahim Khan. Their families and their fellow activists are extremely concerned about them, very worried because there have been a number of arbitrary arrests and detentions in Afghanistan. Now, it's extremely difficult to get accurate information without being on the ground, and it's been made all the more difficult because many Afghan journalists who'd been doing very courageous work have simply stopped working since the Taliban came to power in August. Economic difficulties, also pressure on them, and a lot of female journalists finding it very difficult to work and investigate as well.
Catherine, what are the Taliban saying about all of this?
Yeah, the Taliban are saying that these claims are fabricated. So one of the women seen in a video you just saw, Tamana Pariani, she actually made a video of herself before she was taken away. She says the Taliban have said that this video is a fake, which was made up to try and bolster asylum claims because this woman was trying to leave Afghanistan. They haven't confirmed that they are holding the women. They deny having arrested them, although there were some initial reports from some of their number that they had arrested them. There's a lot of confusion on the ground in Afghanistan at the moment. They're saying that they're going to investigate, but it's been almost a week now since these women were arrested, and there's been no news and no sightings of them. And the fact that the Taliban are being welcomed in Norway to these international talks with Western delegations has raised a lot of anger. And you've had members of Afghan civil society outside the talks demonstrating, and journalists asking questions about where these women are. Now, officially, the EU is saying that it's going to carry on humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, and they're underlining the need, they say, to respect women's rights. They're calling for girls to go back to school in March, as the Taliban have promised. But so far, there have been no official answers on the whereabouts of these female activists.
Senior reporter Catherine Norris-Trent, thanks very much.